Hello YouTube, how's everyone doing? It's Professional here. So today I have a really crazy story for you guys, and this is one that I just read, and this is probably the most ridiculous lawsuit that I have ever read about, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's going to be an even more ridiculous lawsuit in the future. So this customer, and even the article describes him as crazy, is suing Apple, the company that manufactures phones, computers, and tablets. He is suing Apple for $1 trillion, the entire value of the company, and if he supposedly would win this lawsuit, he would be the richest man in the world, but that's not going to happen. This guy has no chance to win this lawsuit, but this whole case is just absolutely ridiculous, and I haven't read so far about any lawyer taking up his case, but I can't see any lawyer actually taking up this case. This is just so ridiculous. So let's read exactly what he's suing over because it's just so stupid. And I'll also show the court documents. This is just ridiculous. But it says here, crazy customer sues Apple for $1 trillion over phone features. This unsatisfied customer wants a big slice of the apple pie. After experiencing an alleged phone mishap, Missouri's Raven Terrell Parker attempted to get even with the world's largest tech company by suing them for a cool $1 trillion, their approximate net worth. If successful, he would become the richest man in the world, eclipsing Amazon's Jeff Bezos by almost $850 billion, according to Forbes. Parker, 39, claimed his iPhone was stolen after he took the device in for repairs in 2018, Apple Insider reports. The employee at the Apple store repaired the device, but kept it by deceiving the plaintiff, knowing that it was the first phone to have new features. Parker claimed in a statement filed at the U.S. District Court in East Missouri on June 1st. Now, this might seem a little bit confusing because the guy does a really terrible job of explaining exactly what happened, but from what I've read, apparently the guy had some kind of version of iOS, that is the main software on Apple phones. He had some kind of version of iOS installed on his phone that he was not supposed to have, that was not meant for the public yet. And when he took his phone in to get repaired, the employee had apparently removed that version of iOS, and the guy got into a major altercation in the store, and he started screaming at the employees at the store, and he started telling them about how they removed these features on his phone, and they called him crazy. The employees at the store called him crazy, which I'm not surprised if they did, if that even is true, but he is also claiming that in his lawsuit. So it says the spicy settings in question included the ability to circumvent certain startup screen options, as well as a nifty group FaceTime-esque function. Not only that, but Parker claimed that his original phone was swapped out for an old one with factory settings that required him to reset passwords and download apps all over again. It's unclear what the aggrieved Apple customer means, but Parker also claimed one Genius Bar employee called him crazy during their exchange, per the recent statement. However, the tech gurus at the Mashable suspect that Parker had installed a version of iOS that was not yet intended for the public, and that in repairing the iPhone, the Apple employee had removed that version. So, like I said, the story is kind of confusing. You know, there's different sides on what's happening here, but regardless of what happened here, this is not grounds for suing a company for $1 trillion. And can he prove that his phone is not the same phone that he got back? I mean, can he prove that? But even if he was able to prove that they had given him a different phone than the phone that he gave them, that is not something to sue over, and it's not something that's worth $1 trillion. That is just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous, and I was laughing at this because it's how stupid this is. The Post was unable to reach Parker for comment as his last listed phone number is no longer in service. No surprise there. This isn't the disgruntled iPhone's enthusiast's first attempt at suing the tech giant. Parker unsuccessfully filed a mind-boggling $2 trillion claim in 2019 over the aforementioned grievance, even providing an itemized list of his compensation asks, which included $1 trillion apiece for the stolen iPhone 7 and iOS 12. So he had sued previously in the past, and it failed. In his over-the-top statement, Parker listed his mental health as priceless. Alas, all of Parker's lawsuits have thus far been dismissed. So let's look at some of the court documents here, and I'll also link this article down below. Under the Statement of Claims, Section 3 of the form presented to the U.S. District Court in Eastern Missouri, Mr. Parker states in his handwritten submission to the court the following. On October 29, 2018, Raven Parker went to the Apple Store in St. Louis Device Galleria for a malfunction of his cellular device. The attendant in the Apple Store fixed the device but kept it by deceiving the plaintiff, knowing that it was the first phone to have new features. Under Section 4 for relief, Mr. Parker wrote, "The damages that the plaintiff is seeking is $1 trillion due to hospitalizations, travel, distress, humiliation, embarrassment, defamation of character. I don't think the plaintiff can be compensated for being labeled crazy." Now, before this whole ridiculous lawsuit, I have never heard of this guy. So I've never heard of this guy before this. So what is he claiming with defamation and embarrassment? What is he claiming exactly there? Humiliation? I have not heard about this guy ever before this lawsuit. In fact, you could argue he's humiliating himself right now with just this ridiculous lawsuit. But distress, travel, and hospitalizations, I don't understand what they mean there. I mean, he could have been in the hospital, but I don't understand what he means with his lawsuit there. To assure that we've covered this lawsuit accurately, you'll find a full complaint below in the form of a scribed document filed at the court by Mr. Parker, courtesy of Patently Apple. Mr. Parker's personal information found in the filing was removed by us for privacy reasons. Okay, we'll go through this as fast as we can. United States District Court, Raven Terrell Parker, Eastern District of Missouri, and that's the defendant is Apple Inc. Jury trial, so he wants a jury trial. So you have the trial by jury or trial by judge, so he wants a jury trial. I don't know what jury would agree with him on this. Okay, let's see here. Complaint for a civil case. The parties to this complaint, the plaintiff, and then his name, Raven Parker there. Just talks a little bit defendant information. Then we scroll down here. Defendant number 1, name Apple Inc. He wrote Apple's address in California. Scroll through this. List the specific federal statutes, federal treaties, and/or provisions of the United States Constitution that are at issue in this case. Amendment 5, personal property was taken for public use, and the plaintiff has not been compensated. What? I don't understand what he's talking about here. If you bring in a phone to a store to have it repaired, they're doing a service for you. They're not stealing it from you. He's claiming that they're stealing it from him. Okay, let's see. Raven Parker, Missouri. Nothing important really there. The defendant is Apple Inc. In the laws of the state of California's. This is just getting really stupid. The amount in controversy, this should be interesting. The amount in controversy, the amount the plaintiff claims the defendant owes, or at the amount at stake, is more than $75,000, not counting interest and at the cost of court, because, explain. The case deals with revenue in the amount of trillion-dollar status. Oh, man. Statement of claim. On October 29, 2018, Raven Parker went to the Apple Store in the St. Louis Galleria for a malfunction of his cellular device. The attendant in the Apple Store fixed the device but kept it by deceiving the plaintiff, knowing that it was the first phone to have new features. So here we have the relief section, and the relief section, this talks about what the plaintiff is asking for in damages, and it's the same thing that we read earlier. The damages that the plaintiff is seeking is $1 trillion, and talks about his hospitalization, distress, humiliation. $1 trillion is worth hundreds of millions of iPhones. Hundreds of millions of iPhones. That is how much $1 trillion would be worth. Probably would be even more iPhones than that. So how can somebody like this, claim... Oh man, I don't get it. And you want to know something, guys? I'll tell you is, I would not be shocked. I would not be shocked if this idiot had gone into the store on purpose. He had tried to cause a scene intentionally, tried to get the employee to call him something like crazy, and then had tried to just basically cause this whole altercation to give him grounds to sue. And there's idiots like this. There's idiots like this in public that will try to do anything to start a lawsuit. They see it as easy money, and they will try to do anything to start a lawsuit. And they're scammers. But this guy, in this case, this guy is probably both a scammer and he's crazy at the same time. Because typically the scammers would not sue for $1 trillion. So this guy, by suing for $1 trillion, you can tell that, what was he thinking at the same time. Like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if he went in the store just to try to cause a scene and just try to start a ridiculous lawsuit. And I'll tell you guys this, from my experience in retail, I have seen customers do stuff like this. I've seen customers try to cause a scene and then threaten to sue in the store. And, you know, their lawsuits never went anywhere. I haven't heard about my store actually getting sued, but I've had customers several times threaten to sue the place that I was working at. And one example that I remember, and I will never forget this one, is this woman had come into the store and she purchased a gift card worth a few $100s. I don't remember the store that she purchased the gift card for, or it might have been Target. I don't remember, but all I remember is she just purchased a few $100 gift card. So she spent a few $100s on a gift card. What happened was she had then told me, started yelling at me, telling me that she was putting the code in and that the card wasn't working. So she was telling me the code wasn't working on the card and that she was getting scammed, and she demanded a refund. And I had seen that the security code was not even scratched off. That was the part you're supposed to scratch off, and the security code was there. And I told her, like this right here, you're supposed to scratch this off, and then you're supposed to put this code in. And she told me, no, it's not this code, it's this number right here. And I just kept arguing with her, telling her, no, you just scratch this off right here. And then she kept demanding a refund, at that point, I told her there's no refund for gift cards. When you purchase a gift card, you can't get a refund. And then she was telling me that that the store scammed her out of hundreds of dollars, that she had purchased this gift card for a gift card that doesn't work when she clearly did not scratch off the security label. And I even showed her that there was a sign on top of the gift card that said no returns for gift cards. And she told me that the sign doesn't matter and that she's going to take the store to court. And she said that I'm going to get thrown in jail. So she literally threatened to throw me in jail as well. And this woman, I don't know what her problem was, but this is exactly what I'm talking about. And I wouldn't be surprised this customer was just somebody just like that. So there's these crazy people that will come into stores and intentionally try to start lawsuits over ridiculous reasons. But imagine if this lawsuit actually went through. How ridiculous would that be? Apple would literally be brought down by some idiot who just caused a scene in one store. But let me know what you guys think of this story down below, how ridiculous this is. And I hope that you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, drop a like. And if you're new to my channel, enjoy my content, subscribe. I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care, everyone.